Book 1, Bazur's Plot. Chapter 40, Planning for Tomorrow. We left the great hall and went through the library, where we slept last night. It was still exactly like we left it in the morning. It was planned that we would sleep here tonight too, so everything was still in its place. My hammock was hanging nice and inviting at the corner of the room. Looking at it, I realized I did not feel tired at all anymore. I was out of energy when we were coming back to the palace, but getting food, talking to friends, and especially seeing the joy of the creatures in the great hall, that was just rejuvenating so much. I felt excited and energized. I said to Jack, "My tiredness is gone, and I feel like I could conquer the world right now." He laughed. I feel the same. This felt good. This felt exactly what I always wanted to do. I was helping my people, or should I say creatures. Maybe better to say helping my creatures. It felt home. Truly I felt that I am now home. I felt happy tears streaming from my eyes. This is happiness. We stepped outside and Capritors and Moorbairns were already there. They had also returned already. I looked at the palace and I swear it looked different. It always seemed to be white, but again I felt that it was not looking at all the same. Now it looks some Asian buildings. I asked Dora, am I mistaken? Or does the palace change shape somehow? Others started to laugh. Jack was also now staring the palace from the courtyard. Dora said, "We were waiting for one of you to ask about it. Took you long enough?" Yes, it does change. It changes what it wants to change to. Thankfully, when you are inside, you do not notice what happens. Sometimes it feels impossible that if the palace changes from English countryside shape to multi-tower Asian temple look-alike, that it would make sense that one could feel it inside. But no, it's magnificent like that. I did not really have any words. I just stared at the beautiful building, and the only thing I could figure out to say is, it is always so beautiful, whatever shape it is in. Tiko said loudly, "Guys, we have bustling energy. Tara, what is our plan? We are so ready to continue and start finding our fellow Myria creatures. Also, we think that in the rest of the woods, we will find a few of our own missing members. We really have not lost so many since it's hard to surprise Capritor, but a couple of our young members are missing. We hope it was Bazur now, since we have a way to undo the curse." Everyone hummed in. Deepclaw and Tiko came a little bit closer to the tables. Moorbairns and Capritors seemed to prefer to be close but not in the center, since they were bigger creatures, and I guess it felt better for them to be a little bit outside. I could understand that easily. Deepclaw said, "Palace valets help us to set up the transport for awakened ones today, but there are many left still. All the Moorbairns with the Capritor escorts had made multiple runs today, and now there's more space in Great Hall for sure, but it is still crowded." Dora said, "That is brilliant. We did not manage to cover the last part of the third woods, unfortunately. So if you do not mind, if you could continue tomorrow doing the transports, that would be huge help for the palace too." Tara filled them up quickly, summarizing what had happened today in each of the groups. "Ladies and gents, when she came to the point that it was not good to split since it trained me and Jack, everyone's eyes were on us. I said, 'I'm sorry. I know this will make things challenging when we need to stay together,'" Deepclaw said. "Well, I don't think so. As Moorbairns, we want to keep all of you safe, and we don't like when we split. It is harder for us to keep you safe, much more stressful." I was thankful for Deepclaw's words. It made me smile. I looked at his eyes and sent silent thank yous to him. He seemed to understand. Dora asked Sylvessa, If we have to make a plan that Sarah and Jack are separated, could you check if you can give them remedy in the morning that helps them to regulate their energy better? Sylvester nodded, and all the underground elves were discussing and looking at their pouches, deciding which would be the best. Everyone got quiet, and we turned around to see why. White Goddess just arrived at the courtyard from the opposite side doors. There were few palace valets joining also. It was really hard to find a word for these creatures that were living in the palace and taking care of things, since they were also calling it home. They were having tasks to keep Goddess safe, or else they were not really servants or valet as per se. But lack of a better word, I'm thinking that some kind of valets, they would be some kind of valets for the palace, since they did also serve Goddess. White Goddess looked so beautiful and shining. Others bowed to her. I followed the example. She sat into an empty chair that was brought by the valets, and everyone gathered close and sat where they could. She said, "Do you have already planned for tomorrow?" Tara said, "No, Goddess. We were waiting to plan tomorrow with you and your valet's advice, anything you think we should be doing." I realized that Tora rarely actually spoke in front of White Goddess. Maybe he felt it was better to be in the background when his mother was in the room. Maybe I will ask sometime later why he's always so quiet here. The unicorn stepped in front, and I realized he must have been there all along. I wondered how did I not see him, since there were like bright lights shining everywhere. Well, we did have White Goddess and Tora doing the same. The unicorn looked at us. "We got a message from Fume folks today that Bazur is restless. Even more than earlier, Fume folks have been going to the Six Woods and spying on him, and will continue to do so. They heard him yelling something today for a long time. He seemed to be very mad. That is not usual behavior, and he came outside his cabin and was yelling to his army members that crossed his path too. He kept also smelling air towards the south. Fume folk think that he's trying to smell the humans, maybe Sarah and Jack, or maybe he tried to smell Myria's." Everyone got totally silent. They were just listening carefully to the every word. And Unicorn continued, "It is likely that he will come himself to look here to the south, or even here on the third woods. He does not trust anyone really, not even his army, so he will likely come to see down here what's up." He continued slowly with the pensive look on his face. "There's a risk you will meet him in the fifth woods, or but on the fourth you should be fairly safe. I know you have plans to hide if you see him, but we need to have a plan what we do if we meet him." White Goddess scanned the crew and said, "That reminds me that can someone go to the Great Hall to get those 3 myriads that are joining our rescue crew?" We waited Eirikr, Svala, and Thala trying to arrive, and told them what Bazur is likely on to us and is super mad. Eirikr smiled. "I would hope so. That is the best case scenario if he's mad. He was never good in control when he's emotional, so that gives us an advantage. We have been practicing the whole day with the whole tribe in the front yard by the trees, and we are ready. We 3 are ready, so that and our tribe, rest of the tribe, will go tomorrow morning back to our village and start rebuilding it." Tara spoke. "For me, the main question is that if Bazur now leaves to come to south, Do we try to uncurse his army, or do we wait it for later? What if he only comes down? What if he only comes down and not his army? What do we do then? Eirikir said slowly, I would propose that we avoid facing him until we are at the 6th woods. I don't know, are we able to cover the whole 4th and 5th woods in a one day anyway? Tora shook his head and said, we still have a bit of 3rd woods to go. And Eirikir nodded. Okay, so since it takes more days, we still have quite many creatures to rescue, and facing Bazur will be a risk. We only have one time to try that, if we want to surprise him. And I'm sorry to say this, but we need to rescue as many as possible, since if we lose Sarah or Jack, we have less possibilities to uncurse the creatures. And unfortunately, it is likely that Bazur will kill one of us 3 myriads when we face him. Everyone got really quiet. The seriousness had always been hanging on top of us, but still the words made it even more real. White Goddess broke the silence. I hope we lose nobody. I appreciate you raising this up, since it's likely that we will lose someone. Bazur has increased his evil side skills, and it is likely when he sees especially you myriads, he will escalate to killing and not just cursing to non-living things. Other creatures he might not recognize that are awakened, but you myriads he will for sure. Tora stood up. About the uncursing plan, Tara and I were thinking that we would tomorrow do the rest of the 3rd woods. Yes. And then we would cross to the North Village, from the North Village to 4th Woods Islands. And since we could not finish the 3rd woods today, if Moorbears and Capritors could continue on the awakened home transports. And Flickfinkulkins, if you could do fairy transports. Although Deepclaw, it seems that ladies recovered over 100 fairies. So you would need to take at least one trip to Fairyland too, Deepclaw replied. Yes, clear. I saw a lot of fairies there. Maybe we'll do one trip there and let's see if Flickfinkulkins want to have a little rest tomorrow. Fairies are anyway very light to transport. Unicorn stepped in. I agree with your plan otherwise, but it would be good to have Moorbears only bring the rescued to the south of 4th Woods, and we can then move the handover place to the boats. That can take all of the rescued awakened ones to the North Village here, and we arrange the transports back to the palace. I agree that elves could go directly to the tunnels. Nobody can beat the elves' tunnels. And the newfound fairies could be transported by Flickfinkulkins directly to the Fairyland. White Goddess nodded. Yes, this helps your rescue team, and you do not have to worry about having half-wakened creatures that you would need to protect. Moorbears, I trust you can check with unicorns good places to do the handover to the carriages or boats, actually more. I mean, if you transport to a spot and the boats will meet you always in random agreed places. So Bazur cannot figure out where is the next place and the next drop-off for the boats. That gives you time that gives you less time to do for transports, and we take care from there, the transports to the palace. Both nodded and bowed to White Goddess. Unicorn Frostmane stepped from the shadows and said, yes, we will see with Deepclaw the best places. We have to get a couple creatures to do the boats over the river, since it would be the fastest way without using magic to cross the river to the Fort Woods. Goddess looked at them. I'm sure you find volunteers from the rescued ones. If there are no obvious ones, then obvious ones in our valleys. Unicorn Frostmane nodded. Yes, I think I already have that in mind. What do you think about those big and strong varkuns that have helped the ladies group today also? I immediately pictures those big dog-like creatures. They were good and strong creatures. The goddess nodded. I leave it up to you. Deep Claw looked at Frostmane. Let's plan a couple handover places and ways to communicate the change if anyone gets a hint that Bazur is on the move. Frostmane and Deep Claw went further away and asked valets to also bring Varkuns from the Great Hall to join them. Tora followed them, and also he would know where to send the transport with the rescues. Tara said with a sigh, Okay, so we know what we will do in next 2 days. Unicorns confirmed that the Fume folks are helping in the woods, but Capritors, we rely on your scouting and help to get away fast if Bazur will leave his cottage anyway. Tiko nodded. Yes. After today's lovely forest run transporting awakened ones that we are rested, we are well fed and ready to repeat the transports tomorrow and do scouting following days. Tara nodded. I think we will continue in the same manner to the Fifth Woods, but let's leave it that for now. White Goddess, we don't have food support after the Fourth Woods for us. Can we get your help to return carriages and Warburns transports to get food for all? If yes, please make sure that it is non-smelly food, that it means that we can eat it cold. White Goddess nodded. Good point. That is that it shouldn't smell. Yes, of course. I will make sure you will get food in returning transports. Jack said quickly, all the food is here so good. It's better to be safe than not to have smelly and warm food that would reveal our location more at ease for the Bazur's army. Or the Bazur. Everyone laughed, and Tara said, non-smelly food it is. Other than that, our normal tasks are valid. Sarah and Jack do the scanning and cursing. Medical elves, Tim, Tom, Sylvester, Eleven. You are doing the first remedies. I'm leading the team 1, Tora team 2. And when we are all together, Tora is helping to rescue with the rescue to transports. She looked around, and everyone just kept nodding. It was very clear that our tasks were. It was very clear what our tasks were. Svala said, when there is not yet a Bazur attack happening, we will be helping rescues too, so elves can concentrate on the remedy giving and support. Tara smiled. That's superb. We are quite rescue factory. Unicorn, whose name we do not know, spoke again. That leaves the question what we do when facing Bazur. I assume you, Myriads, Eirikr, Svala, and Thrain are still going to be ready if something happens. Eirikr nodded. Yes, what I have been thinking is that if we are not still at the Sixth Woods, I will go face Bazur alone and try to turn him around. Basically scare him around. I am the eldest, and when he was still a boy, he was afraid of me. So my plan is to be White Coast-like and scare him back to his cottage. I'm not sure that it will work, but it would give an opportunity to have a little more time to save the Myria folks. Everyone got silent, stunned. But the more we thought about it, it started making a little bit sense as well. Eirikr was the eldest and tribe leader, and likely to be a ghost, and would be able to rise from the unliving curse as he was the most experienced wizard of the tribe. It was very risky. What if Bazur killed Eiríkr? And what if it would work? And if that would work, Bazur would go back to his cottage, and for sure he would bring the army with the next go. But would that be 1 day later or 2? Would that give us more time to prepare to face him? Tara said almost in a fearful voice, "That does not seem really good idea. But are you sure, since Bazur can actually kill you? Even if we are close, we don't know how to stop him. And even if we don't reveal Svala and Thrain, we just end up watching you to be killed," Eiríkr said. "Well, that is a risk. Svala will help me to look more ghost-like, and I hope that appearing in front of him in the trail will shock him. I will still do my magic while I'm going to give him chills and colds and other features that he feels the more ghost experience fully. But as I'm playing ghost, some of my stronger magics cannot be performed. I do understand I am sitting duck in if he does not fall for it, but I trust he will. I can be scary, phenomenal looking, all white and addressing him ghostly voice." Tara said, "I don't really like this, but it is very smart thinking for the big picture." Svala nodded. "I straight out hate this plan, but he has convinced us that this is the best way. Me and Thrain need to be hidden until we face Bazur, and Eiríkr wants us that only to happen in the 6th woods." Tara nodded, signing at the same time. "Okay, well, what is the plan to face him then?" Eiríkr nodded. "I have a proposal for that too. If it does not include me, but obviously I will support if I'm still alive. So Svala and Thrain will face Bazur. Actually, Thrain will face him only, and Svala will be hidden. And they will use their words and magic to make him give up his magic voluntarily. And if not, they do know how to manage and remove it from him. Regardless what happens with Bazur, unicorns, and we spoke earlier today, he's likely has his army with him or part of it. So could Moorbairns, Sarah and Jack uncurse them? It is important that you do keep so much separated that if Bazur manages to curse one, the other can still be uncursed. Other can still uncurse and move to safety from the battle. And then later come to uncurse the cursed ones once again. That sounded actually great plan, and it was good to have Jack and Sarah separated. I was thinking that they forgot that Seafarer still did know how to uncurse. I said, "Remember that if something happens, Seafarer still knows how to do the uncurse. He did teach us, Jack and I." Moorbairns all nodded. Garnock moved close and said, "I take you, Sarah. So it is clear already now, and there's no confusion." Stonehide stood up and said, "I'm the biggest of the Moorbairns, and I take you, Jack." Jack nodded to Stonehide. Jack was much bigger than I was, so it made sense. Capricors all stood up like someone had given them a signal or sort. That looked impressive. We practiced archery during our rest day. It was a bit cliché since we are all Capricors. He continued smiling. "We are fast learners, and we have practiced these 3 days by the woods in there, all to archery and hitting targets. And I must say our tribe here are now excellent at hitting targets and doing tricks. We are not able to help Bazur fight in the Bazur fight with magic, but we can arrange distraction by firing archers at him and separating him from his army and stopping his army from proceeding in the unwanted direction. Everyone was super silent and then started to applaud. White Goddess said, "That's excellent. You are even without this new skill an important part of the crew, but this is just going to give us an important edge to battle facing Bazur." She looked at all of us. "This just may be the turning point for us." She stood up and looked at Capritors. "These arrows, anyone with or without magic skills will respect flying arrows. Your new skills comes very much appreciated and needed." She bowed and Capritors were stunned until Tico managed to bow and rested follow his example. Tara said happily, "That changes everything. Eireker, I strongly propose that even if we have to battle Bazur earlier, we would go with the final plan. So you could still do the ghost part and have Thrain to follow behind you and face Bazur. This would give us the edge to the whole battle. And that would lessen the risk of losing you. What do you say?" Eireker looked around us. I glanced around me as well, and everyone was looking at Eireker. It was clear that nobody wanted to lose him. He was an elder. It was very precious to have elder among us with all the knowledge. Eireker started slowly and said, "Okay, I see you mean business. I agree." Svala hugged him clearly relieved and smiled. Tara smiled and started to speak. "So let's summarize. What do we do when we have to battle Bazur? Myriads, you face him head on, trying to disarm him from magic. And if he has anything good left in him. Sarah and Jack, with more burns, you will uncurse the army, but staying on the opposite side at all times, so also away from the magic beam length from Bazur. Capritors will attack from the shadows with arrows, trying to keep Bazur isolated from the army, supporting both the teams to be separated. Tora and I will do our magic, but we will stay in safe places. And for me, it is very close. I can literally be in Bazur's shadow if needed. I won't, since you will not see me in either, and that would not be a safe place for me. Did I forget anyone? Frostmane, Deepclaw, and Tora had returned during the summary. Tora was doing, just in time to hear it all, and Tora commented, "That sounds like an awesome plan. Tico, I did not know you all do archery." Tico nodded. "We have practiced hard. It was Capriena's idea." Capriena blushed and said nothing. Everyone started to applaud again. Frostmane said, "I don't think you forgot anyone per se. We unicorns must stay here in the Third Woods, securing Goddess, and big part of the Fume folks will stay as well. But there will be still a remarkable amount of them that will follow you. So you will see the shadows working for you. However, Fume folks never take order from others than Goddess or unicorns. They will do what they see best, and if you are in a place where you need to ask help, you can ask them to support you. They might do what you are asking, or not. They have only sworn to help us unicorns and to guard Goddess. They are not able to take orders as other creatures, and that leaves them out from the main plan." I actually felt really safe knowing they would still be around. They had protected us here in the Third Woods, and they were good and silent when moving around. I had a couple times seen shadows moving, but I think it was on purpose. I think they showed me that they were around. Frostmane continued, "Fume folks will bring the message that the battle has started, so we will send anyone who is useful and would be able to help at that time. And we will be ready to face him if he comes to the third woods from any direction. Sylvessa spoke. What we will do if we have rescues in our hands. The plan we have covers all of us, but us medicine, underground elves and potential rescues, Deepclaw answered. I'm also not counted for. So this is something we agreed with Tora and Tara earlier. So I take you four to safety further away and then return to battle. If we have rescues a lot, I will only take the lady elves with the rescues further away and then return to battle. Tim and Tom, you need to hide yourselves. Is that plan okay for you? It's not a perfect plan. Tim and Tom answered simultaneously. Yes, that works for us. We help the ladies and any rescues we might have on your back and then hide ourselves. Sylvessa did not look happy. Tim took her hand. Sylvessa, you must go with the rescues. Tom and I will be able to hide so that Bazur does not find us. You know it. We have been practicing. You did not even find me that last time. Think of the rescuers. They need our help, and you two need to keep them quiet and stay recovered enough to understand the situation with the help of our remedies. Sylvessa looked at Tim's eyes for a long time and nodded. Fine. I don't like this, but fine. Eloven nodded. I am the youngest and smallest, so I don't have any extra courage to face Bazur. This plan suits me fine. And Deepclaw needs to go to the battle, so it's not likely he takes us far, just far enough to be safe. Deepclaw nodded. Yes, and exactly. And once the situation is clear, one way or another, I will come to get you.